Alright, in part one of this tutorial, which hopefully you just watched, we covered everything up to, I imported some new photos lazily and didn't name them or edit them. But they came into Photoshop just fine. The key thing that you can learn from this is you don't have to work as hard as I might suggest that you do. As you look up at the media area where all my photos are waiting to be imported, you can see the photos that I have imported and how long I've imported them for. So there's a little orange bar on those, and the ones that I haven't put in my slideshow don't have an orange bar underneath them. So those are the ones that I just added, and they're new to my they're new. And then there's the foot picture, which I've removed. So what I want to do is show you how easy it is to rearrange these photos so that they fit with the narrative. When I imported them, I had them all numbered correctly, but as it turns out, look at me, what a crazy person I am. I numbered them 1, 2, 3, 4, and they showed up correctly in my file, but when they imported, the 10s and 11s and 12s got out of place. So when they imported up here, they turned out a little differently. So what I want to do is I want to start here with Mattol. This is us. This is all the correct order. I want the picture of the lighthouse to come before, to be positioned in, before the lighthouse actually happens inside. So you say, here's the Punta Gorda lighthouse. Here is the graffiti inside. And I have more graffiti picture, another graffiti picture to add here. So I'm going to add a graffiti picture. And then I talk about the elephant seal colonies. So here's a picture of the elephant seal colonies from way up high. I'm going to do after. I talked about that after the lighthouse. And here's a closer picture of the elephant seals. Then I talk about getting water on the trail, which is this picture. And then we get to the Cooksey Creek campsite. And here's a picture of me drinking some wine there. That's a good intro to the Cooksey Creek campsite. We have time to make art, so this is my seashell structure that I created. I'm going to put both of these next to each other so you see seashell from afar and the thing, and a seashell close up. We cook some steaks. There we go, and then we end with the sunset going down. That's a nice conclusive ending. We kind of begin with a sunset and we end with a sunset. And that kind of gives our story some kind of continuity. As you can see, we're still not quite long enough, and we have all of our pictures imported. Oops, I have the seashells. With some seashells, you know, a spot that I need to add is going to be right in here. There's going to be some room for some words and no. And this is at the this picture of shells is at Punta Gorda Lighthouse, so that makes sense to have it there. But still I have all of this time with no things. What you can do is you can change how much time you have on each slide just by clicking on the slide and dragging it out just a little bit. This first slide is our get to know my voice slide, so I'm going to make it 7 whole seconds long. 7 seconds seems very fast, but it's actually very long in terms of these slideshows. I'm going to make these first ones go a little slower, and then we'll speed things up as we get in. I'm going to just make them, I'm just adding a second, but as you can see, I'm covering this little square over here. Now this doesn't have to be so long, but the Punta Gorda Lighthouse shot is quite pretty, and it's a nice establishing shot. So I'm going to lengthen this to 6 seconds as well. 6 whole seconds of Punta Gorda Lighthouse. And it's a still shot, so it's not moving at all. We can change that. Wretched of the Earth is a moving shot, so you can see it goes, a message from the earth. There's my husband making lunch, basically pouring wine. Hey, fellow traveler, it's cold, take shelter, it says. You can see that, right? I'm going to make that a still shot as well. So I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to hit fit, and that holds it still. So now it's not going to move about. This picture is going to move a little bit into the elephant seals. Is that how I want it to be? Start and end? Sure, that works for me. And then this picture, whoops, how did that happen? All right, this picture starts and ends like this. I want this to just hold still. These are the elephant seals up close. I could even crop to, I wonder if crop to fill would work better. No, I'm just going to hit fit and have that whole thing in there. Here's our seashells. That is absolutely fine treatment for seashells. The water I want to end bigger, so I'm going to click on bigger on the end here and get that whole shot in there for the end. So now when it's going to move quite a bit. Watch this. To refresh our supply. It's about 8 miles from the trailhead to Cooksey Creek. We arrived there early and set up camp. We could have hiked a few more miles, but Cooksey Creek is one of the most beautiful places on the Lost Coast Trail, and I love camping there. Absolutely no cell phone signal, so there's plenty of time to decorate our site with some of the shells I picked up along the beach. We brought along a Moonstone Crossing 2006 Cabernet Sauvignon and a frozen steak to share on our first night out. It was a bit windy. Okay, we can see now, just by listening to that, it's very close to the right place. The water happens to be about the right length for us to talk about. But then Cooksey Creek itself, we need to be longer there because I talk about the art a little late and the steak on our campfire. What I really need is another picture of Cooksey Creek, I realize, and I have just about room for one more. So I'm going to go back to my photo library, all the way back to my photos. Of course I can find my photos easily. And here are all the photos. Cooksey Creek looks like this. Here's Dave standing in Cooksey Creek. I believe this is a photo I edited with help of you all. That's our campsite there. Go back here. I'm going to lazily drag that into here. Oh, yep, there it shows up. And I'm going to put Dave standing in Cooksey Creek right here after me. It is a beautiful place to camp, and I love this picture with the stratus clouds over the thing. How long does that put us? Does that put us about right? Our movie is just about the right length, and that's a really good thing because while you weren't looking, the part I edited out was my computer crashing 2 times, or iMovie crashed 2 times for me, and I had to redo this. Save often and frequently. I have the added challenge of creating this movie in iMovie while I'm running a program called Camtasia, which is what I use to record tutorials. So it's always a fun challenge. I have my slideshow exactly the right thing. I'm going to do 2 more things to it and then show you how to save it for export to iMovie. First of all, I would like to add a title and a closing screen. At the very top here of the interface, there's a titles box. I'm going to click on that. One of the standards titles that I like is going to be the line lower third title. I'm going to put that on the first slide here, and I think I need to zoom in a bit. There we go. And I'm going to make the title, I'm going to move it about here. Move it. And I'm going to make it a little longer. I want it to be 4 seconds long. There we go. The slide's 4 seconds long. I'm going to move it to the end there. It's going to come in 3 seconds after I talk. I'm going to say spring. I'm going to edit it up in the text frame. Spring 2017. Lost Coast Trail fit? Lost Coast Trail. Now I have a title. Let's look and see how that works. The first slide, 7 seconds. My husband Dave and I hiked the Lost Coast Trail from the Mattole River Trailhead to Cooksey Creek. Okay, looks great. It pops in and then it moves along. I'm going to also add something at the very end here. I'm just going to add a straightforward title at the end, title screen, and it's going to say, hike for more on hiking the Lost Coast. I want the smaller. Visit the BLM King Range Wilderness website. That's where you can buy a permit to do it. So that's what at the very end I'm going to do. My name isn't on this anywhere, so I could actually put Humboldt State University 2018. All right, so I have put my name on it too. There we go. I could put my website. We're going to put whatever information you want there, but that's how it's going to end at the very end. So we have this informational screen. It looks super professional. One more professional thing is going to be transitions. In journalism, we really don't do a lot with the spinning, whirling, cubing, mosaic transitions unless you're working for MTV or making music videos. These things swirl and make your head spin. We do either a jump cut, which is what this automatically is doing. See, it jumps from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, etc. Or we do cross dissolves, and cross dissolves smooth up your experience a little bit by creating these transitions. I'm going to do cross dissolves for several of our things here, about every other one or so. I'm going to add some cross dissolves in here. So we'll have some jump cuts and some cross dissolves. Cross dissolves could marry some of the content, like here we are inside the lighthouse, or here we are at Cooksey Creek, my husband and myself. So they kind of unite some content. This one where we have the art, and here we'll dissolve to the sunset and then dissolve away into the credits. All right. That added a little time to our thing, so now I can subtract a little time from the first slide here. I can subtract some time from our 6-minute slide here. I would play this whole thing for you again. However, some of the photos aren't married to the audio anymore. You could sit and finagle this for long periods of time. But let's just play from the middle. If I click on this button here, it's going to make it bigified, and it's going to give us where we stopped for lunch. The lighthouse is no longer in use, and recently the stairs to the top were blocked off. The walls are covered with interesting graffiti. Down on the beach we saw a colony of elephant seals. I could see about 80 seals, but I don't get too close to them. We hiked in May, spring, so that sources of drinking water were plentiful. Dave had a water filter, so we stopped along the trail at Sea Lion Gulch to refresh our supply. All right, you get the idea. Of course, if I'm going to export it, I'm going to preview the whole thing so that it's absolutely perfect. You're going to make 2 slideshows. You're going to make one small tutorial with about 5 of your own travel photos or pet photos. I feel like you already have travel and photo. So just to practice an interface, make a short slideshow. It can be 20 or 30 seconds long with your own narration over the top of some of your own photos of your own personal adventures, much like this one. And then for your expert slideshow, I want you to talk to an expert and take some photos that relate to the topic or the person that you're following around to report on. So your second slideshow will be more of a reportage type slideshow where you take pictures if you are writing an auto blog of someone's car collection or someone working on a car, and then put those photos together with some audio that you put together just like you put together your podcast. But the whole thing is done now, and I want to export it, and I'm going to export it to a file. I'm going to save it as a file first. And let's see if I can do this again without crashing. The last time it totally crashed and it did again. That is how you export it. You click on that upper button and export it to a file. I can't do it while I'm doing Camtasia. So I'm going to shut down Camtasia and then save my file and then show you how to put it on YouTube if that's possible without crashing. Thank you. When in iMovie you share out your file as a file, you can also upload directly to YouTube or Vimeo. But for the purpose of this, I'd suggest that you download a file from the iMovie interface. For me, that won't run simultaneously with Camtasia. So I am going to show you a movie and uploading it that is already made. And basically, you have a YouTube channel because you are a member of the HSU community. You have a an email account, a Gmail account, and because you have a Gmail account, you have Google Drive access, and you have Google YouTube access, because this is part of that same company. So you get to your YouTube channel, and you may have to give it some more information about yourself, but when you sign into your free YouTube account, you're going to click on Upload. It's really as easy as this. I have my movie on my desktop. I'm going to drag it over here. I'm going to give it some information. The more information you get, and I've remarked on people's files for podcasts and other things, please give it a name that refers to what you do in it. Learn to create audio slideshow in iMovie. This movie is for Humboldt State students in journalism. Oops. Tools class. This is a movie that I will give to all of you. I'm going to hit publish. It says it's got a long time to go on the upload, so I'm going to just make sure that I have a public interface so that people can see my content. I could share it elsewhere on Twitter, etc. Add it to a playlist for this class perhaps, and publish it. And then as soon as it's ready to go, it's going to be published. It will show up. It's going to upload for a long time. And then I'm going to take the URL from this particular movie. Here's already the URL's already listed here. And I'm going to put it, not for your tutorial video, but for your other videos, you're going to add it to your WordPress blog, your expert video. This one doesn't really fit on it on my Piketopia pottery, but for the meantime, I'm going to add a blog post. I'm going to give it a good title, and I'm going to give it a blurb. Creating audio slideshows in iMovie. I'm going to give it some content here. This video. Look, I made this video to show you how to make videos out of still photos and an audio soundtrack. There we go. I could add more to that, and I probably would. Various things, hit publish, publishing, and now I'm ready to be graded on my fabulous work. That is the end of this tutorial. It's taken me a gazillion hours to make because my computer repeatedly crashes from running Camtasia and iMovie at the same time. Anyway, I hope you have fun. Let me know if you have problems. Tech issues, terrible. Give me a call, text me, and send me an email. I will help you through it. I don't want you to be frustrated. And remember, perfect is the enemy of done. You can work on something forever, or you can get it done. Thanks. Have fun. Bye.